All right, today we are talking about artificial intelligence for developing or emerging economies. Tiago asked a whole bunch of questions for Portuguese companies and how they can be using artificial intelligence, saying that limited budgets have traditionally left small businesses at a disadvantage when going to market, and can AI fix this? He says, the first question, in Portugal, we have a lot of small and medium companies. How can they use AI without big investments? The number one answer here is all about open source. So most of the exciting developments, the interesting developments in artificial intelligence are happening in the open source community. Big companies like Google, like IBM, like Facebook and stuff have open sourced most of their big libraries. TensorFlow, you have IBM's bias detection toolkits, you have Facebook's fast text library. All of these tools are being released for free to the open market, to everybody and anybody. So as long as you've got the hardware to run it on, or a cloud environment that you can build on, you have access to the same tools regardless of where you are on the planet. The gap, the delta, is not the tools. The gap is the knowledge, and you need those people who can write the code, who can do the data science, who can think through the problems and solutions in order to make AI productive for you. And that's the gap. That's the challenge. So for a country like Portugal, or any country, investment in people, building of training programs, and a pipeline of qualified candidates, qualified workers to build in the AI ecosystem is the essential thing. His follow-up question on that was, should companies be investing in platforms like HubSpot or Marketo or Salesforce? I mean, you can if you want to, if that's what you want to use, because you don't have the capabilities. It comes down to, for an emerging economy especially, you have build and buy, right? You buy if you have time. If you don't have time and you have money, right, and you have the capability, you don't have the capabilities, you have to buy the thing. For an emerging economy, just like for a startup, if you can build, if it is cost effective to do so, and you're applying AI to a core competency of your company, you should build. You should build, because that can be part of your secret sauce. That can be part of what generates growth for you, and maybe even a revenue opportunity unto itself. If you build a model that successfully predicts, how well a tree will grow, guess what? That is something that you can then apply to multiple different scenarios. He asks, is it only the big companies with a lot of money that can use AI? No, it is anyone who has the knowledge and access to the tools. You have access to the tools. If you can use R or Python and the associated databases like Apache Spark and stuff, all of which are open source, you have the tools. So now it is the knowledge. What are the best platforms for small and mid-sized businesses for AI? It depends on what your problem is. And it depends on whether your problem is a good fit for AI. AI is not a magic wand, right? It's math. It's the application of fundamentally statistics and probability to major problems, at least for today. Which means if you have a non-math problem, AI is not going to help you solve it, right? It may help you crunch the data that goes with that problem, but fundamentally, if you have a problem that is not a mathematical problem in nature, you can't use AI to solve it. Now, more and more things can be turned into math. For example, language understanding, language recognition. Language is math, right? Math is a language. And if you can take words and represent them as numbers, and then see how the numbers relate to each other, a process called vectorization, you can then use math to solve word problems. But most businesses don't have a problem. Most businesses' business problems are things that tend to be macro problems or very micro task-oriented problems. You may not have enough leads. Is that something that AI can solve? It can help, but it doesn't solve the fundamental problem. Like if your product sucks, AI can't fix that, right? AI can make your product suck faster, but it fundamentally can't change. It can't make something net new out of something that isn't already there. In terms of what you should be building with, again, I mentioned R and Python are the two languages that are the most prominent in the AI community. They are open source languages, completely free to download. If you want a more intuitive environment, take a look at IBM Watson Studio. I am an IBM champion, and they give me clothes and stuff. But if you are used to more graphical environments, if you're used to solving problems in a more graphical way, Watson Studio is definitely a great platform for being able to build proofs of concept. And if you use it, built into the platform are all the best practices, so that if you want to take it from concept to production, you then take it out of Studio, bring it to Watson Machine Learning, and then into OpenScale, and that takes you through the production lifecycle for AI. And because it is cloud-based, at least part of it is, Watson Studio is therefore something that is pay-per-use, which means that your costs for a proof of concept should be relatively low. And then once you've proven value, then the cost will scale up, but then so should the value that the problem you're solving. What are the influential factors in integrating AI in marketing? So I will refer you to one of the many keynotes that are on the Trust Insights website. If you go to trustinsights.ai, look for the 5 use cases of AI in marketing, and in there is a section right in the middle of the lecture on the enterprise journey to AI, the 7 steps that you need to take in order to bring your company to readiness for artificial intelligence, and that includes the challenges. The biggest one, though, data. You've got to have it. You got to know where it is. It's got to be ready for use by machine learning. And that is the biggest challenge almost every company is going to face. The rest of the hierarchy, or the journey to AI, is based on all data. So if you don't have the data, you don't have AI. You also have a whole bunch of other problems too. But that's where it starts. What are the benefits of AI in marketing? Well, the benefits of AI are faster, cheaper, better, right? We call it acceleration, accuracy, and automation. Acceleration, machines can process against certain problems faster than humans can. They can do it better, and sometimes at much larger scale. Like try reading 100,000 social media posts in 5 minutes. You can't do that. And then automation, to be able to reduce and remove unimportant tasks or repetitive tasks. Just get a machine to do that. But those are the core benefits, and they align well with the major business problems. Show me a business that does not want things to go faster, things to be better, and things to be cheaper. And I will show you a business that's going out of business because they don't have their heads on straight. And so when we examine business problems for applications to artificial intelligence, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for, can we get this problem done faster? Can we get it done cheaper? And can we get a better answer? And if we can do one of those things with AI, great. If we can do 2, even better. And if we get all 3, it's magic, right? It's magic for your business, because your business will grow so much faster. What are the ethical aspects of integrating AI in marketing? There is an entire book I will refer you to there called Ethics in Data Science by Dr. Hilary Mason and Mike Lukidis. It is a must read. It's also free on Amazon. But fundamentally, we always have to be asking ourselves, what could go wrong, right? What are the ways that this could go wrong? So if we think about AI as stats and probability, we then have all the things that go with statistics that are known biases, right? We have selection bias, non-response bias. You have all these things. And then you have the human aspects of bias. You have discrimination. You have unintentional bias. You have language biases. All these ways that humans make life miserable for each other. That's in our data. And if we're training our machines on that data and we're not thinking about what could go wrong, we end up with the situations like where Amazon built an AI for hiring and it stops hiring women, right? Because no one thought, in our training data set, it's trained mostly on men. Of course, the machine is then going to pull up a model that says, let's focus only on men, right? That's what the machines are going to do, because that's the data we gave them. So fundamentally, the most important question you should always be asking, and not just about AI, but any technology, is what could go wrong? If we don't ask that question, we should not be surprised when things do go wrong and they're like, holy moly, this really went sideways. Because every system can be exploited. Every system can be used in unintentional ways. So if we can think through the most malicious cases, or the most harmful cases, we can at least mitigate some of those impacts. But bias, for sure, is one of the ones that we need to tackle first and foremost. What are the uses of AI in the marketing functions of your company? Again, better, faster, cheaper. What things are you doing that are repetitive? The way I always ask people in keynotes about who's going to lose their jobs to AI is real simple. You open up a calendar, right? Look at the calendar, look at a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks from now. What are the tasks that are on that calendar, right? What are the to-dos that show up every single week? What are the repetitive pieces of work? When you know that, those are the things that are candidates for AI to do. So you're writing social media posts for your company. Guess what? You have to write that every day, every week, however often. That is clearly a candidate for AI, especially if you're smart about it and you do something like you take all of the posts that you've made and your competitors have made and you sort them by the variable that matters most to you, whether it's click-through rate or whether it is engagement rate or whatever. You take the top 25% and you train a machine to write more stuff like that. That's not that hard to do, right? You could do that in probably about an hour inside of Google Colab. What's repetitive? What problem can you think algorithmically about and say, instead of solving this problem for today, how can I permanently solve this problem? How can I solve this problem and delegate it to a machine? That's how you use AI, whether it's for marketing, whether it's for finance, whether it's for operations or sales. Think that way. You need the data, but if you have the data, use the data to create those problem solutions. What are the pre and post AI marketing strategies for your company? I'm not sure I understand this question. Fundamentally, marketing strategy with or without AI is still about those benefits, right? Faster, better, cheaper. If you can get your product to market faster, if you can get your product to market cheaper, if you can get a better product to market, you're going to improve your chances of winning against a competitor. AI is a methodology. It is a methodology and a set of tools and techniques and knowledge that help us do the work. It's like frying, it's like frying and broiling and baking in the kitchen, right? Those are methods for accomplishing the end goal of eating. So what is it that we're trying to solve? Is it eating? What are we eating? Is it Portuguese food? Is it Spanish food? Is it French food? Is it breakfast? Is it lunch? Is it dinner? Those would be the ways that you think about applying AI. You're not applying it for AI's sake. You're applying it to solve a better problem. What is the impact on marketing volume and expenditure of the company pre and post AI? You're going to do a lot more. If you're doing anything that is data-driven, where data is the output, like content creation, content marketing and stuff, you're going to create a lot more. I was doing an experiment recently with OpenAI's GPT-2, the text generator, and I wrote 20,000 social posts in literally a minute and a half. Now, well, the machine wrote them. I didn't write them. I trained it, and then after that, I just hit go, and it spit out 20,000 social posts. Like, okay, you're going to create a lot more stuff. This is a key strategy point, too. Because you will be in charge of the machines, it will be an arms race as to who can create the best quality at the highest quantity. Who can win that way? And that's going to be a real challenge, and something that the first market leader in a space to pull that off in a niche or in a vertical is going to crush everybody else. So it's a case where you definitely need to be first. And finally, in my opinion, what will be the impact of AI in marketing in the next 5 to 10 years? No idea. No idea. Here's why. AI is changing so fast and the field is growing so quickly that nobody knows what's going to happen even in the next year. In the last 7 months, we have seen radical leaps forward in text creation, natural language generation. The year before that, we had radical leaps forward in image recognition. We are now having radical leaps forward in image and video generation. In the last month, we have no idea what's going to happen in 5 to 10 years. Even with today's processing power and applications, the AI technology is improving so quickly that it's difficult to figure out what's going to happen in 6 months, much less 6 years. If you introduce an element then like quantum computing, holy crap, that's going to radically change the game for everybody. So we don't know, nobody knows, and anybody who says they do know is not either in touch with reality or is just lying. So a lot of questions. Again, go to the Trust Insights website at trustinsights.ai. Go to the menu, click on the menu, and there's a bunch of resources, webinars and past events and videos and things. There's a ton more background information that you can get from our keynotes and white papers and stuff. Please go check that stuff out. Thanks for the great questions. A lot to answer here, but hopefully the answers are useful. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you soon.
Want help solving your company's data, analytics, and digital marketing problems? Visit trustinsights.ai today and let us know how we can help you.